Hi. Hey, good to see you. Well, today is another weekly update. What's been happening? Uh, I think my last video about the cats, was an interesting one. They're all going through treatment now, but this isn't what this video is about. I actually wanted to talk about something which I'm really happy about today. I actually feel a lot better now than I did last Sunday, which was kind of all had added up because of the unknown situation with the cats. Some of them getting better. One of them kind of is and isn't. But I decided because it was raining today to actually just sit down, get up in the morning. Normally I'd get up at 5 and do like a time lapse. But instead, I just went and sat down on the couch just here and read a book that I've been meaning to read for so long. And I've got all these books that keep piling up. And it was just so nice to sit down for like 2 hours and not use my phone to jump around over different topics, but just sit down and digest a really cool little book. The book's an interesting one. It's called From Chocolate to Morphine. It's very light. It's like, young adults to older adults. It's good. It was one of the reading materials from Sasha Shulgin's books. It's just an interesting read about the cultural aspects of, the related topics. But the thing was is that I've got all these books now. Like, yes, I want to just sit down and read. And funny because the actual thing that got me started was a documentary I'd watched about some prisoners at Supermax. And like these Supermax prisons, they didn't have any kind of like windows or anything. But what the guys had, like, unless you were in like an isolation cell, which they weren't, but they were like Supermaxes, like I think before isolation. You still have books you can read, and that's and I thought these guys, like, they had the interview with these guys who were learning other languages and learning law, and because they had nothing else to do with their time, they're sitting in jail all the time. They do a bit of exercise and they read books, and I'm like, you know what? I don't even have time to read books, but I'd really love to. I'd really love to learn something. Like, it's just such a fundamental hunger to want to learn and read and absorb information, and the phone, Wikipedia, all these things that just they seem to, instead of making me feel like I'm instilled with knowledge, they burn me out. Like, if I wanted to read about a topic on the computer, after about half an hour, I just feel kind of burnt out. Like, I'd jump between different links and I'd go here and I'd go there, and I would feel like I hadn't absorbed anything. But sitting down and reading a book, now that's something different, and I wonder why. I just don't know. I don't know. There's a reason for it, but I definitely prefer gaining information through books than through the internet. And that tells me something about how perhaps we do all these like courses. I mean, I really enjoy sitting down reading a book, talking to people about the topics, and doing that interactively. The computer seems to have gotten in the way. Maybe I'm kind of part of that. I feel like the technology that we would hope would help us is not really, like, in terms of sense of self-worth and feeling of well-being. I feel better when I don't sit on my phone. I feel better when I don't sit on my computer. I feel when compared to reading a book. And I think that that's one important thing with coding is, like, you really take, instead of sitting there in front of the computer coding a lot or writing software programs, it's very important to do the reading, to do the thinking, to have conversations before you really go out on your way to write the code. And many times, like, if you've got something that can be done already, that you can just pull a library out of something somewhere. Like, there's always a book, there's always a library on a topic or a component that you could reuse. So for me, learning and understanding and relaxing with books is far better than, say, reading the same topics on the computer. However, I did start reading one book with was called Facebook Broken Code, and the first two chapters were really cool, were really exciting, and I got through them, and I was like, this is a really cool book. But then the rest of the chapters in that book, just repeating themselves. Like, it was just the same thing over and again. So I guess it also depends on the book. Well, guys, I think what I want to say is, if you've got an opportunity, then do some reading. You'll find it surprisingly invigorating and relaxing. I've been meaning to read for so long, but I've never taken the time to do so. There's always something else to be done. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up today's video, and I'll see you next week. Take care and enjoy a book or two. See ya.